Daily and monthly financial aggregations. In this lesson, we will learn how to summarize banking transactions by both day and month. Financial aggregations are essential for tracking revenue, detecting issues, and making business decisions in banks. You will build skills to calculate totals, averages, and trends based on daily and monthly data patterns. We will use synthetic banking transaction data to practice real analysis tasks similar to those performed by analysts at financial institutions. Running the cell now. We import pandas to handle data analysis tasks. We import NumPy to generate synthetic numerical data and perform calculations. We import warnings to suppress unnecessary warning messages. We disable warnings so they will not clutter our output. Running the cell now. Understanding the data we will use. Our data represents synthetic banking transactions. Each row shows one transaction, including the customer, amount, type, and transaction date. The date field is essential for daily and monthly grouping. Beginners often forget to convert the date column to date time for grouping and filtering. Running the cell now. Let us generate the synthetic transaction data we will use. This helps us practice on a real-sized dataset. We set the random seed to 42 for reproducibility. We ensure the random data is the same if we rerun this notebook. We define the number of synthetic transactions. We define the number of unique customers. We start building the transactions data frame. We generate unique transaction IDs. We randomly assign transactions to customers. We generate transaction amounts to mimic bank data. We randomly assign transaction types, debit or credit. We randomly pick how the transaction was conducted. We generate timestamps for each transaction, spaced by 1 hour. We finish creating the data frame. We print the shape to confirm the number of rows and columns. We print the first 3 rows to preview our data. Running the cell now. The output shows our synthetic dataset has 1,000 transactions with 6 columns, including transaction ID, customer ID, amount, type, channel, and date. Notice the date column is already in date-time format, which is crucial for accurate time-based grouping and filtering later in the lesson. This initial look confirms our data is properly structured for exploring daily and monthly transaction patterns. Try changing the number of transactions and observe how the output shape changes. What are daily and monthly financial aggregations? Daily aggregations summarize all transactions on each day. Monthly aggregations summarize transactions for each month. These calculations reveal trends and help banks detect unusual activity or growth. Mistakes: not converting date columns, grouping by wrong column, missing data overlaps. Running the cell now. Before aggregating by date, let us make sure our date column is of date-time type. This is very important for correct results. We ensure the date column is converted to Pandas date-time format. This makes grouping by day or month possible. We print the D-type to check if it is date-time 64. Running the cell now. Here, the output confirms that the date column has been successfully converted to a date-time format, which is essential for accurate daily and monthly aggregations. Without this step, grouping by date would be unreliable, potentially leading to incorrect summaries or missed trends in financial transaction data. Practice: what happens if you try to group by a string date instead of date time? Let us find out how many transactions occurred on each day. We group by the date component and count the number of transactions per day. The .size function gives us the count. We print the first few results. Running the cell now. This output shows the number of transactions counted for each day, with each date properly converted and grouped using the .dtDate accessor. Notice the consistent count of 24 transactions across these first 5 days, which suggests stable daily activity. This confirms the intent of daily aggregations, summarizing transactions per day to identify patterns or anomalies in financial data. What does the daily transaction pattern look like in your bank's history? Now let us see the total amount moved per day. We group by date and sum the amount for each group. The result is a daily total of all transactions. We print the first few daily totals. Running the cell now. This output shows the total transaction amounts aggregated by each calendar day, confirming the correct use of the date converted with .dtDate. Notice how the sums reveal daily trends in transaction volume, which is key for detecting patterns or anomalies over time. This illustrates how daily aggregations provide a clear, summarized view of financial activity for each specific day. Try grouping by different date parts like week or weekday using .dt accessor. Let us compute the average transaction size per day. We group by the date and calculate the mean of the amount. This shows the average transaction per day. We print a few sample averages. Running the cell now. This output shows the average transaction amount calculated for each day, as indicated by the daily date index. Notice the consistent shape of 5 consecutive dates with corresponding mean values, demonstrating correct grouping by day after converting the date-time column. This confirms the intent to create daily financial summaries that highlight spending patterns over time. How could seeing average transaction size help spot fraud or anomalies? We will now aggregate by month, which is commonly used for bank management reports. We change the date to monthly period and group by that. We sum up the amount for each month. We print the monthly totals. Running the cell now. This output shows the total transaction amount summed for each month, using the date converted to a monthly period. Notice the clear monthly grouping, which simplifies spotting trends or sudden changes over months, aligning with the lesson's focus on accurate monthly aggregations. This confirms the importance of converting dates properly and grouping by the right period to ensure meaningful financial summaries. Practice: compare monthly and weekly totals. When would each be more useful for a bank? Banks often want to know which day had the highest single transaction each month. We group the data by month period. For each group, month, we find the row with the largest amount. We display the date and amount for the peak day per month. Running the cell now. This output shows the peak transaction day and its amount for each month, identified by grouping the data by month and selecting the maximum amount per group. Notice the dates correspond to specific high-activity days within January and February 2024, revealing key points of financial activity. This aggregation helps highlight significant daily spikes within monthly trends, a crucial insight for financial analysis. Try modifying this to find the day with the most transactions, not just the single largest amount. Let us refactor our earlier daily sum calculation to use resample, which produces a proper time-indexed data frame. We set the date as the index for time-based analysis. We use resample with frequency det for daily intervals and sum the amount. We turn the result back into a data frame with the column name daily_total. Running the cell now. This output shows the daily total transaction amounts, indexed by date, capturing the sum of all transactions each day. Notice the data frame shape, one row per day, with a single key column daily_total indicating aggregated values. This confirms the code correctly resampled and summed data by day, essential for tracking daily financial trends and spotting anomalies. Try changing the resample frequency to W for weekly or LEM for monthly summaries. Now let us see how individual customers behave, monthly totals for each customer. We group by both customer ID and month. We sum the transaction amount for each customer, month, group. We use unstack to display months as columns. Running the cell now. This output shows the total transaction amounts per customer for each month, with months as columns and customer IDs as rows. Notice how missing values, NaN, indicate no transactions for that customer in that month, highlighting the importance of handling sparse data. This monthly aggregation helps identify spending patterns and growth trends by customer over time. How could this structure help a bank monitor customer engagement or risk? Moving averages smooth out monthly totals to see longer-term trends, which banks use for forecasting. We resample the data by month and some transactions. We compute a rolling 3-month average on monthly totals. We print the result to see both totals and the smoothed average. Running the cell now. This output shows monthly transaction totals and their 3-month rolling averages, highlighting how the sum smooth out month-to-month fluctuations. Notice the first month's average equals its total since there's no prior data, while the second month's rolling average blends January and February totals. This demonstrates how rolling aggregations track trends over time, helping detect changes in financial activity patterns. Can you adjust the rolling window to see faster or slower trends? It is often important to see monthly totals separated by the type of transaction. We group by both month and transaction type. We sum the amount for each combination. We use unstack to show debit and credit columns. Running the cell now. Here we see a monthly aggregation that breaks down total transaction amounts by type, credit and debit, for each month. Notice how grouping by the date converted to a monthly period ensures all transactions within the same month are combined correctly, revealing clear monthly trends in each transaction type's volume. This distinction is crucial for analyzing income versus spending patterns in financial data. This technique is useful for tracking withdrawals versus deposits monthly. Let us see what happens when the date column contains an error and how to catch and fix it. We copy the data frame and intentionally introduce a bad date value. The first row now has an invalid date. We attempt to convert all dates and deliberately force an error. If an error is raised, we handle it in the except block. We report the error message. We convert the column again, coercing errors to NAT, missing. We count and print how many rows have missing date values. Running the cell now. This output highlights how improper or corrupted date values can disrupt date conversion, shown by the unknown date times string format error. With errors equals I coerce, invalid entries become NAT, missing dates, which here counts as 1, ensuring the dataset can still be processed for accurate daily or monthly aggregations. This step is crucial to avoid miscalculations or grouping errors caused by bad date data. Try adding more data errors and see how .to_date time errors equals a coerce can help clean dirty data. Banks should check for unusual negative transaction values, which could signal errors or fraud. We filter for transactions with negative amounts. We print how many such transactions exist. We show a preview of these anomalous rows. Running the cell now. Here we see a sanity check that identifies 7 transactions with negative amounts, which is unusual for typical transaction data. Noticing the transaction types and channels helps confirm whether these negative values are errors or intentional adjustments. This step is crucial before aggregating daily or monthly totals to ensure data accuracy and avoid misleading trends. How would you handle negative values in a real-world setting? Best practices for financial aggregations. Always check and convert date columns to date time type. Use Group B and resample for accurate period summaries. Handle missing or bad data early. Document every aggregation step for transparency and reproducibility. Sanity check your outputs for expected totals and patterns. Running the cell now. Here is a best practice way to create daily summaries with multiple statistics in a readable and reusable format. We use Group B to group by the date part. We apply AGG to summarize total, average, and count in one line. This output gives you a compact snapshot of daily business activity. We print the first few days as an example. Running the cell now. This output shows a daily summary where transactions are grouped by the date, with key financial metrics like total and average amounts, plus transaction counts. Notice the consistent number of transactions per day, 24, which aligns with expectations and confirms data completeness. This step exemplifies best practice by using date-time grouping and aggregations to produce clear, reproducible period summaries that are easy to sanity check. Try adding more columns to .ag for other summary statistics you might need. Let us solve a typical banking problem. Which customer had the highest debit total by month, and what trend did we see? We filter for debit transactions specifically. We group by both customer and month, then sum the debits. We fill in missing months with 0 for all customers. We find the customer with the highest total amount across all months. We select the monthly trend of this customer. We print out the ID and the trend for interpretation. Running the cell now. This output shows the monthly debit totals for the customer with the highest overall debit amount, identified as cust_0145. Notice the aggregation by customer and month, converting dates to monthly periods for clear period summaries, which aligns with best practices for accurate financial aggregations. Checking this trend helps verify the consistency and reasonableness of the data before further analysis or reporting. Practice: try the same analysis with credits, or with another customer behavior pattern. If you learned something new, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more banking data analysis. It is important to know how to save results for reporting in banking operations. We export the daily summary to a CSV file. This file can be shared or loaded by others for reports. We confirm by printing a message. Running the cell now. This message confirms that the daily financial summary has been successfully saved as a CSV file, ensuring your aggregated data is stored for reporting and further analysis. Saving your results like this aligns with best practices by making your workflow transparent and reproducible. Always verify this step to maintain data integrity before sharing or using summaries downstream. Now opening the CSV file we just created to verify the output. Conclusion: you learned how to aggregate banking data daily and monthly. This helps banks track financial trends, report to management, and catch anomalies. Practice chaining Group B and resample for all your real banking analytics. Keep learning, try a real banking dataset next, and watch our YouTube series. Running the cell now.